Dear Elon Musk, you're right to sound the alarm on unprecedented US government spending. But here's the hard truth. Even if you or Trump want to fix it, you can't. The system is past the point of correction. As Lynn Alden outlined in her keynote last week, nothing stops this train. And here's why. 1. We've entered a new era of physical dominance. Historically, deficits only ballooned during recessions, but since 2017, deficits have surged even with low unemployment. This is a fundamental break from the past. We're now running persistent 6 to 8% deficits every year, even in good times. And here's the catch. The economy now depends on it. If you significantly cut government spending, asset prices fall, unemployment rises, and tax receipts collapse, making the deficit worse. The brakes now trigger a recession, not a soft landing. In other words, if you try to stop the train, it crashes. 2. The brakes no longer work. The Fed's tool for managing the economy, raising interest rates, used to slow down borrowing and cool off inflation. But now that federal debt is over 120% of GDP, rate hikes do the opposite. They increase the government's interest expense faster than they suppress private borrowing. So ironically, tighter monetary policy makes the deficit worse. We've entered a feedback loop where trying to slow the train actually makes it speed up. 3. Demographics and entitlements are destiny. The baby boomer generation is retiring. The $3 trillion Social Security trust fund is being spent down right now, and it will be gone by around 2035. This isn't up for political debate. This is actuarial math. And since older Americans vote in massive numbers, both parties have pledged not to touch Social Security. No matter who wins the next election, these outflows will keep growing. 4. It's mathematical, not political. For decades, private sector credit drove the economy, but since 2008, federal debt has taken over as the main engine of growth. That shift is permanent. The private sector is already highly leveraged and has limited capacity to borrow more. The only borrower left is the federal government, but they can't afford to refinance the debt at higher interest rates, and they certainly can't pay it off. The only remaining path is to inflate it away, keep interest rates low, let inflation run hot, and quietly devalue the dollar over time. In over 110 years of data, there have only ever been 5 years when total debt declined, and 4 of those were during the Great Depression. The system cannot shrink. It can only inflate the debt away. 5. We're running a Ponzi without an off switch. Total debt now exceeds $100 trillion. The monetary base is just $6 trillion. That's 17 to 1 leverage, and it peaked at nearly 50 to 1 in 2008. When the system buckled, the response wasn't reform, it was acceleration. Zero rates, QE, and now massive deficits. This model is locked in. The only real debate is how fast we inflate, not whether we stop. Any serious attempt at deleveraging would detonate the entire structure. That's why no one tries. There are no brakes left. If nothing stops this train, the rational move is to own assets that can't be debased, diluted, or controlled. Gold worked well in the past, but Bitcoin is better because it's portable, programmable, and perfectly scarce. It's the mirror image of this fragile fiat system. That's why Bitcoin is not just surviving in a 5% interest rate world, it's thriving. Now is the time for America and Elon to embrace sound money. And the soundest form of money is Bitcoin. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you next time.